Discover the incredible journey of a proud black girl who speaks 9 languages, transforming laughter into unity. Jada was more than just a bright girl, she was a whirlwind of talent and dreams, bursting with energy that filled the streets of her vibrant neighborhood. The night sky twinkled above as she lay on the roof with her best friend, Marcus, sharing takeout dinners from her mom's diner, with beams of laughter that soared higher than the stars. "You know, one day I'll be an ambassador," she declared, her eyes sparkling with life. Speaking 9 languages felt like magic, and she could see herself bridging cultures, connecting worlds. But the whispers at school stung, the sidelong glances told her reality. A deep-rooted prejudice clouded the brilliance of her spirit. They saw her skin, not her shining intellect. When Jada heard about the local language competition, her heart raced. It felt like a golden ticket to a scholarship, a way to prove her worth. But reality crashed down as she recalled the tightness of her mom's paycheck each week. "Is this even possible?" she murmured, biting her lip. Just as worry began to take root, Marcus shared his own heavy burden. Funding cutbacks had shelved his dream of attending a prestigious music camp, a weighty disappointment in his eyes. The air crackled with unspoken dreams between them, and in that moment, Jada could see how their neighborhood pulsed with hope. Struggling yet resilient, fueled by her mother's strength, Jada hatched a plan. "We won't let our dreams die in the shadows. If we can unite our neighborhood, we can change the future." Her words turned from whispers to inspiration as she rallied everyone. This wasn't just about her anymore, it was about Marcus, their friends, and the entire community. As she stood before her neighbors in a packed community meeting, fear transformed into resolve. "Together, we can make a difference," she called out, heart thumping. The silence was like a thick fog. Could they really challenge the odds stacked against them? A voice from the crowd murmured doubt, asking whether they should waste their breath if so often they were overlooked. That moment sat heavy in the room, a challenge echoing off the walls, dampening spirits. But Jada found a spark within, refusing to let doubt extinguish their fight. "Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue." Jada's passionate words cast a spell, igniting voices that had long been silent. They organized a fundraiser, a celebration of dreams, each ticket a step toward their goals. Old wounds resurfaced, prompting conversations long overdue. Families began to see common threads in shared stories, growing closer under the weight of vulnerability. The community was stirring, a powerful movement was blossoming. With the language competition day looming, Jada faced her biggest question yet. Was she ready to step into the spotlight for herself, or would she carry her friend and community's aspirations with her? Standing at that crossroads, Jada felt the weight of their dreams hanging in balance. Hope shimmered, urging them onward, as she took a deep breath, ready to fight for something greater than herself. The next chapter was unwritten, but the energy buzzed like fireworks waiting to ignite. Would they find their voice? Would their collective strength rise above doubt? The sun rose over the neighborhood, painting the sky in shades of orange and pink. Jada woke with determination humming in her chest. Today was the day. The language competition loomed ahead, filled with promise and the weight of her community's dreams. She slipped into her favorite dress, the one her mom had saved up for, and caught her reflection. This wasn't just her moment. It was theirs. Jada's heart raced as she made her way to the venue. The buzz of anticipation mingled with the smell of freshly baked goods from the bake sale her mom had organized to fund their dreams. Families gathered around tables under colorful banners, laughter and chatter filling the air. It felt like a festival, everyone united for a cause that was bigger than themselves. As she approached the stage, her stomach flipped. Bright lights illuminated the spot where she would stand, each flicker resonating with a reminder of those whispered doubts from school. Would she be enough? Glancing back, she spotted Marcus in the crowd. He flashed her a thumbs up, that same spark of belief lighting up his face. It filled her with warmth. They were in this together. The competition began, with participants presenting in various languages, each more impressive than the last. With each new speaker, Jada felt a mix of envy and excitement. The power of language to connect, to inspire, it was intoxicating. When her turn approached, the butterflies in her stomach transformed into a roaring storm. Taking a deep breath, she climbed the steps, her heart pounding with the rhythm of hope. The crowd was alive with energy, faces turned toward her like sunflowers seeking light. "Hello," she began, her voice steadier than she felt. "My name is Jada, and I'm here not just for me, but for all of us." She felt the pulse of her community surrounding her, the hopes and dreams intertwined. As Jada spoke in her language's quick cadences that flowed like music, she imagined each word wrapping around the audience like a hug. She shared stories of her neighbors, the baker who sang to the dough, the artist painting murals that told their history, and Marcus, who poured his soul into every note he played. The silence was palpable. It wasn't just a performance, it was a bridge she was building. As she transitioned from one language to the next, she could see recognition and pride reflected in the faces of her neighbors, a shimmering connection sparking between them. They weren't alone. When she finished, applause erupted, echoing thunderously against the walls. Jada's heart soared. Glistening tears brimmed in her eyes, not just from joy but from a sense of belonging. As she stepped down, the emotion still pulsing through her, Jada spotted Marcus rushing her way, his excitement spilling over like a fountain. "You were incredible. You showed them who we are," he exclaimed, and her heart swelled with joy. Awareness surged through her. But before she could respond, a tall figure approached a judge with a serious expression etched on his face. He cleared his throat, ready to announce the results. The crowd hushed, tension wrapping around them like a thick blanket. Jada felt her palms sweat, every heartbeat resounding in her ears. The winners of this year's language competition are a moment hung, suspended in time. Would they recognize her efforts? Would the spotlight shine on her dreams, or would they flicker away like a candle's flame? In the depths of uncertainty, Jada remained poised, heart open to whatever was to come. Would this be her moment of truth? Would her community's dreams be fulfilled, or lay once again in the shadows? Jada held her breath as the judge scanned the crowd, the microphone trembling slightly in his grip. Time seemed to stretch, a rubber band pulled taut, ready to snap either way. She felt the warmth of the sun on her face, grounding her. This was the moment she had worked for, not just for herself, but for everyone behind her. The judge's voice broke through the silence, low and resonant. "The winners of this year's language competition are." Jada's heart drummed louder. "Jamal Thompson and Fatima Ali." Gasps filled the air, emotions rippled through the crowd, a mix of surprise and joy. Jada's heart sank. She forced herself to smile, clapping softly as the other competitors congratulated the victors. The radiant pride on their faces almost brought her to tears, but part of her couldn't shake the feeling of disappointment. Had she truly failed? The vibrant colors of their community, the stories she'd woven from her heart, they felt suddenly distant. Just as she turned to exit the stage, she caught sight of Marcus rushing forward, his expression a beacon of encouragement. "You didn't just speak, Jada. You connected with everyone out there." His voice was earnest, grounding her again. He reached for her hand, squeezing it gently. Before she could reply, a woman approached them, her face familiar, a proud figure from the community who had attended every event, the heart of their neighborhood. "Jada," she said, her voice warm and firm. "That was unforgettable. You brought our stories to life." Tears filled her eyes as she spoke. "Don't let this moment define you. You've done something greater than just win a trophy." Jada's breath hitched. "But it was all for nothing. I thought I could know," the woman interrupted. You stood up there and spoke truth. Your voice was a gift. Winning isn't everything, it's how you make people feel. Her words pierced through the disappointment, birthing a flicker of hope. As they rejoined the crowd, familiar faces beamed with admiration. You inspired me, Jada. A neighbor exclaimed. Others nodded, exchanging stories about how her performance had touched their hearts, igniting a sense of hope that had dimmed over time. Jada absorbed their words, feeling the community wrap around her like a warm blanket. In this moment, she realized that her victory wasn't defined by a medal, but rather by the connections she fostered, the joy she ignited. Sitting down with Marcus, she began to share her reflections. Maybe this is just the beginning, she mused, a glimmer returning to her eyes. Just then, her mom appeared, wiping her hands on her apron, pride radiating from her. Jada, that was beautiful. I'm so proud of you. They embraced tightly, the essence of their shared resilience pulsating between them. A newfound energy surged through Jada. I think I want to help organize a language workshop for our community, she announced, her voice brimming with excitement. A place where everyone can share their stories. Maybe something like a culture fest. That's a fantastic idea. Marcus exclaimed, lighting up at her proposal. As they sat under the colorful banners, buzz transitioning into planning, Jada couldn't help but feel the momentum building. Perhaps this chapter was just turning, one where she could put her dreams into motion beyond a competition, where their collective voices could resonate even louder. But as they began to discuss details, a voice called from the crowd, abrupt and sharp. What's all this about a workshop? A familiar figure emerged from a cluster of onlookers, his expression challenging. You think just because you spoke a few languages, you can change everything? A tense silence fell. Jada's heart raced again. What would happen next? Would her dreams of bringing the community together be met with support or disdain? Jada felt her throat tighten as she turned to face the voice. It was Daniel, a boy from her school known for his sharp wit and blunt comments. His arms were crossed, and his brow was furrowed, as if he was waiting for the perfect moment to shoot down her idea. We're just talking about how to bring people together, she said, trying to keep her voice steady. It's important for our community to share stories. Oh really? And what makes you think you know how to do that? Daniel retorted, his tone dripping with skepticism. Just because you can parrot some fancy words doesn't mean you can change anything. A ripple of murmurs ran through the crowd, some agreeing with Daniel's challenge while others glared at him, unimpressed by his negativity. Jada's heart raced, the weight of her dream clashing with the weight of his words. She began, but the words wouldn't come. She could feel the warmth of the sun retreating. It was hard to hold on to her excitement when faced with doubt. Marcus stepped forward, his face determined. Jada touched a lot of hearts today, including mine. This isn't about her being perfect. It's about creating a space for everyone to express themselves. He looked at Jada. You have something that matters, Jada. Don't let anyone take that away. Jada took a deep breath, welcoming the strength of his belief. She knew Marcus was right. It's about building connections, she stated, her voice growing stronger. It's about finding common ground. We can't just sit back and wait for change. We have to make it happen. Some in the crowd nodded, while others listened with skepticism still etched on their faces. Daniel rolled his eyes, uninterested in her passion. You'll see. No one wants to listen to you. You're just talking. The hurt stung, but Jada refused to let it pierce her resolve. People do want to listen, she countered, lifting her chin. They want to share their stories like I do. We all have something to say. A flicker of uncertainty crossed Daniel's face, but he quickly masked it with a scoff. So you're just going to put on a show, huh? This isn't some fairy tale. You think you can snap your fingers and change everything? The crowd shifted, the tension palpable. Jada felt a quickening in her heartbeat. This could very well determine the outcome of her vision. Maybe change doesn't happen overnight, she replied, her voice calmer now. But it starts with a conversation. With a connection. Just talk, huh? That's great, Daniel said dismissively, yet there was a hint of annoyance in his tone. Before she could respond, her mother stepped forward, the strength in her presence bringing instant clarity to Jada. Daniel, I've heard your words. But have you ever felt what it's like to share a piece of yourself? The response was immediate, surprising. Most people seemed to hold their breath, waiting to see how he would react. For a moment, Daniel faltered. The bravado slipped just a bit. It's just talk can be powerful, Jada's mom continued, voice unwavering. Remember that. As the crowd began to buzz again, Jada felt a stirring of energy rising within her, coupled with curiosity about what was possible ahead. Perhaps there were more people willing to stand with her than she had initially thought. Marcus leaned in closer, whispering. You're onto something, Jada. They are listening. Jada glanced around at the faces around her. Perhaps they didn't fully believe in her yet, but today had lit a spark. Once we get this workshop going, we'll show them, she murmured. Let us do this together, Marcus said, his eyes bright with determination. As they dove back into planning amid the echoes of doubts and dreams, Jada felt the wind shifting. They were moving forward, and the promise of what lay ahead began to shimmer on the horizon. But then Daniel's voice broke in again, taunting, good luck trying. You won't see it through. The fire reignited in Jada. We will see, she whispered under her breath, holding on to the hope that ignited her community's collective voice. What if she could prove him wrong? What if, in the process, she found her place among them, not just as a speaker, but as a leader? The questions hung heavy in her mind as the voices merged into a song of possibilities. Would they manage to overcome the doubt and bring the community together? Jada's heart thumped in her chest as glimmers of hope sparkled in the air around her. The murmurs swirled like leaves in the wind, growing louder, more vibrant. Marcus's unwavering belief in her fueled her determination. They would plan their workshop, but it wouldn't be just another event, it would be a bridge, something tangible that they could cast across the chasm of doubt. Let us find a space, maybe the community center. Marcus suggested, flipping through a notepad where they'd sketched out their ideas. We could set up circles for storytelling. Make it personal. Yeah. Jada exclaimed, her enthusiasm bubbling over. And we could invite different local artists. We can have music, poetry, everything. Exactly. Marcus nodded, his excitement contagious. If we make it fun, people will come. They want to share. As they mapped out their goals, Jada felt the weight on her shoulders begin to lift. They weren't just talking, they were creating a vision, something vibrant and alive. But even as she felt the thrill of possibility, a shadow lingered in her mind. Daniel's taunts echoed in her thoughts. What if he's right? What if nobody cares? But shaking those doubts away, she focused on the faces surrounding her, those shiny eyes, hopeful and eager to connect. Just this moment alone made her heart swell. The day slipped into dusk as Jada and Marcus took their conversation into the community center's courtyard, one of the few spots in town that felt alive with stories. As they strategized, familiar faces floated in and out of view. Soon, Marcus's sister, Tia, ambled over, curiosity written all over her face. What's all this? She asked, nudging her chin toward the notepad. Jada wants to bring everyone together to share stories, Marcus explained, pride evident in his voice. Sounds ambitious, Tia remarked, her brow arched skeptically. What makes you think it'll actually work? Jada straightened, steeling herself. Because sharing our stories matters, she replied, her voice unwavering. What if people realize they're not alone? Or what if they find common ground? Okay, Tia conceded, eyes glimmering with intrigue. But it's not just about trying, right? You need some excitement. Something that pulls people in. Jada's mind turned, recalling the countless ideas that danced through her thoughts. What about a theme? Like voices of our neighborhood? Now you're talking. Tia lit up. That could spark interest. Otherwise, it's just talking. They spent the next few hours brainstorming, feeding off each other's ideas. Maps of the space began appearing on the page, details woven into each thought shared. Blank spaces soon filled with potential activities, games, food, open mic sessions for storytelling. As the stars twinkled above, the local chill air filled with laughter and hope, a stark contrast to her earlier fears. I can feel it, Jada said softly, staring into the night sky. This can really bring us together. If we do it right. Then let us start preparing. Marcus's confidence bolstered her resolve. Just as they were about to wrap up for the night, Daniel reappeared, leaning against the wall with a disinterested smirk. Not giving up yet, huh? Jada clenched her jaw, but Marcus nudged her. Let us show him we can do this. Don't you want to be a part of it, Daniel? Jada challenged, surprising even herself. You could help make a difference too. He raised an eyebrow, a flicker of uncertainty crossing his face before the bravado returned. Whatever. As he walked away, Jada felt a swell of determination. She could do this. With every ounce of energy flowing through her, she was ready to confront the challenge, ready to battle doubt head-on. Next week is our big planning day, Marcus said with excitement as they gathered their things. Let us do everything we can to make it a success. Right. I can't wait. Jada felt light as they walked out, the cool air bristling with potential, but would they get the support they needed? Jada wished she had a crystal ball, something that would show them not only the issues but the triumphs too. Her heart raced, wondering if they could truly forge connections and quiet the skeptics. And as she drifted to sleep that night, the question throbbed in her mind, could a conversation really change everything? The morning light streamed through Jada's window, illuminating the restless thoughts swirling in her mind. Today was the day they would take a giant step forward. Jada jumped out of bed, feeling a surge of excitement coursing through her. She could practically hear the voices of the community, bursting with stories just waiting to be told. After a quick shower, she dressed in comfortable jeans and a bright yellow shirt that matched her vibrant mood. She barely had time for breakfast, her heart racing at the thought of what lay ahead. Marcus and Tia had promised to meet her at the community center by noon, and she was ready to make their vision a reality. Stepping into the street, Jada found the world blooming around her. Children were playing tag on the sidewalk, the smell of fresh coffee wafted from the nearby cafe, and the distant sound of music drumming up excitement filled the air. Today felt different, as if everything aligned magically for the occasion. When Jada arrived at the community center, the buzz of conversation greeted her. Marcus was already there, his hands full of flyers and colorful markers. Tia was leaning against the wall, chatting with a few locals. Jada's heart warmed. This was teamwork, and she felt she belonged. Hey, Jada. Marcus called, waving frantically. I'm just about to make these flyers pop. Got the theme all laid out, voices of our neighborhood. Just wait until you see it. You didn't wait for me? Jada teased, stepping closer. Let me help. They began working together, Jada's fingers weaving designs around the vibrant text while Marcus animatedly shared ideas for distribution. They laughed, their thoughts flowing freely, the energy palpable. Tia suddenly straightened, her eyes narrowing as she spoke. What about getting some testimonials from people? You know, sharing snippets of what they think about the event? That would pull more folks in. Great idea. Jada beamed, writing the suggestion down. We could even have a video booth at the event, capturing their stories right away. Looks like our work is cut out for us. Marcus declared, determination in his eyes. They set to spin more ideas into reality, feeling like they could change the narrative in their community. As the hours ticked by, the three of them moved through brainstorming sessions, laughter, and even some anxious moments when they discussed logistics. Would they have enough chairs? Would the sound system work? But each time doubt crept in, they pushed it back with enthusiasm, their resolve unbroken. Suddenly, Jada noticed the time. Wait, we should reach out to a few more people before we wrap up. We need to spread the word. Who do you have in mind? Tia asked, pulling out her phone. Let us invite the youth club. They bring so much energy. As they began sending messages, a quiet ripple of excitement swept over the space. Jada felt a sense of connection growing, little waves of hope meeting one another. Just then, Daniel walked back into the center. His presence hung heavy in the air, as if a shadow had just crossed into their bright haven. What's up, losers? Planning the next big flop? Jada's heart raced, a mix of anger and determination swirling within her. It won't be a flop, Daniel. Why don't you join us instead of tearing us down? Your opinion could help. He paused, eyes flashing for just a moment as if he were weighing her words. Right, because I'm here to support. Good luck with that, was his only response before he turned to leave. Why do you let him get under your skin? Tia asked, concern etched on her face. Because I want him to see what we can do, Jada replied, feeling the fire in her. I want everyone to see. Their planning session continued, each idea reinforcing their conviction. They were not just organizing an event, they were igniting a spark in the community hearts and voices finally ready to converge. Tomorrow we can hit up the youth club, Marcus said. And I have some ideas for music acts too. I think we've got this. Jada felt her spirits lift higher. They were ready to transform fear into friendship, doubt into discovery. But as they packed up for the day, a lingering thought followed her. Could they truly bring everyone together? The question nagged at her like a persistent whisper. The journey was just starting, and Jada knew it wouldn't be easy. As she walked home, she pondered what might lie ahead, feeling the excitement in her veins but also the weight of what was yet to come. Would their dreams survive the reality they were about to face? The sun dipped lower in the sky, casting a golden hue across Jada's neighborhood as she walked home, her thoughts racing. The chatter of the community center echoed in her mind, the ideas swirling like autumn leaves caught in an afternoon breeze. Each vision felt more vivid than the last, colorful posters lining the streets, laughter ringing out from the event, and voices blending together in harmony. But with every glimmer of hope, there was Daniel's voice lurking in the background, an unwelcome reminder of the doubts that could cloud their mission. When she finally stepped through the door of her small apartment, the familiar scent of home greeted her, a mix of spices from dinner simmering in the kitchen and the comforting aroma of fresh baked goods cooling on the countertop. Her mother's laughter carried from the living room, mingling with soft music playing in the background, and Jada smiled at the sight. Hey, Mom, she called, standing in the doorway. Her heart swelled with warmth. How was your day? It was good, honey. Just trying out a new recipe, her mom replied, turning around with an apron tied around her waist and flour dusted on her cheek. What about you? You look all jazzed up. With stars in her eyes, Jada sank into the soft chair across from her mom. She launched into an excited recount of the planning session, the ideas, the energy, and even the confrontation with Daniel. As she spoke, Jada gestured with her hands, her voice rising with enthusiasm. You should have seen it, Mom. Marcus had this brilliant idea for a music corner, and Tia suggested we get testimonials from people. It's going to be amazing. Her mother listened intently, nodding and smiling, but Jada noticed the slight crease of worry on her brow. Jada, that sounds wonderful. But it's also a lot of pressure. Are you sure about this? With a quick shake of her head, Jada replied, I'll be fine. I have to do this, Mom. It's so much bigger than just me. I want everyone to feel heard and seen. Her mother paused, eyes shimmering with pride. You've always had a gift for bringing people together. Just remember, not everyone will be as supportive as you hope. Jada nodded, but the weight of those words sat heavily on her chest. Could she really pull this off? She felt the echoes of her mother's concern lingering in the air, and it stirred a mixture of determination and doubt within her. Later that night, as she lay in bed staring up at the ceiling, her mind raced with possibilities and fears. Could they create the safe space they envisioned? Would they gather the community's strength and support, or would it crumble beneath the pressures of the past? Right before sleep began to pull her under, a vision flashed in her mind, a vivid image not just of a successful event, but of standing at the forefront, a beacon of hope for her community. It was powerful and daunting all at once. The desire to uplift those around her felt like a fire igniting in her heart, pushing her to fight for change. The next morning, she woke up determined. Fear was still there, but it wouldn't hold her back. After breakfast, she grabbed her phone, dialed Marcus, and half-joked, "Are we ready to change the world today?" Their laughter intertwined with anxious anticipation as they reinforced each other's momentum. Together, they would get through anything, even Daniel's biting remarks. As they met and laid out their plans for visiting the youth club, an urgent question spun in Jada's mind. Would the younger generation respond to their call? Could they bridge that gap between hopes and reality? With the day ahead buzzing with potential, Jada felt a knot of excitement and nerves twist in her stomach. She was about to find out, but as the three friends stepped into the sunlight, a new worry crept in. What if they weren't prepared for the responses they would face? What if their biggest challenge lay within the hearts of those they sought to inspire? The youth club loomed ahead, its dull brick walls seemingly oppressive against the bright sky. Jada took a deep breath, feeling the weight of her plans pressing down on her shoulders. Something inside her churned, a strange mixture of hope and fear. Could this place spark the change she imagined? Marcus and Tia stood beside her, matching expressions of determination painted across their faces. "We got this," Marcus said, breaking the silence. "Just think about what this could mean for everyone. Let us do it." Jada nodded, her heart racing. They pushed through the double doors, and the familiar smell of sweat and wood welcomed them. The sounds of laughter and clattering echoed through the air, intermingling with the distant thump of music. Young people hung out in small clusters, talking and sharing stories. It was alive. As they moved deeper into the club, what struck Jada was not just the noise but the energy radiating from the crowd. She could see teenagers chatting, playing games, and expressing themselves in ways that filled the room with vibrancy. This was exactly the spirit she wanted to channel into their community event. "Okay. Let us split up." Jada gestured towards the groups, excitement coursing through her. "Marcus, you take the gaming zone. Tia, head to the arts area. I'll talk to the kids over by the stage." Both friends exchanged glances before heading off, their enthusiasm contagious. Jada felt a surge of courage as she approached a small group of girls gossiping and giggling. They looked up, surprised but curious. "Hey. I'm Jada," she said, her voice confident, hiding her nervousness. "We're planning something big for the community, a day of fun, food, music, a chance for everyone to come together. I'd love to hear what you think." The girls exchanged skeptical looks. Jada's heart sank slightly. Had she miscalculated? It was as if she could feel Daniel's whisper of doubt creeping back in, taunting her from somewhere in the back of her mind. But she pushed that aside. "Actually, I was thinking it'd be great to showcase some of your talents. You know, show everyone what you can do," she added, her enthusiasm bubbling back up. "Like what?" one of the girls asked, her tone hinting both interest and defiance. "Maybe some performances. Dance, poetry, art, whatever you feel speaks to you," Jada replied, feeling her confidence build once more. The girls glanced at one another, laughter bubbling up again. "That sounds cool, but nobody cares about that stuff." Something tightened in Jada's chest. She felt the familiar sting of doubt but reminded herself of her vision. "Not true. People care more than you think." They want to see you and hear your voices. Let's make it happen. The change in the atmosphere was palpable. The girls exchanged glances again, the skepticism slowly fading. One raised a brow, intrigued. Maybe if it's fun. Jada leaned in, sensing the shift. Trust me. Fun is the main ingredient. And we can make it something special together. Jada's voice grew stronger as they spoke. The more she shared her ideas, the more they opened up. It was exhilarating, like each word lifted them higher. Suddenly, they were brainstorming themes, costumes, and performances together, and Jada felt the knot of her anxiety loosen. A group of boys joined the conversation, intrigued by the laughter. They hovered nearby, nodding as Jada continued to weave her dreams into theirs. It felt like a tapestry forming, one thread at a time. But just as the atmosphere shifted to excitement, she spotted Daniel leaning against the wall, arms crossed, watching them with that familiar smirk. It hit her hard, the doubts flooding back. Would he try to sabotage everything? Let us keep pushing, Jada, her thoughts urged her. She had to stay strong, to shake the past off like water. The community deserved this moment, even if Daniel wanted to rip it apart. For every ounce of doubt, a flicker of determination sparked. Together, we can show them, she whispered, as she focused on the girls once more. Just then, one of them reached out. You know what? Let us do this. It was small. But it was the key. The door had begun to open. As they exchanged ideas, Jada felt the rhythm of hope building around them. But the question nagged at her: was the community truly ready to lift one another up, or would they remain stuck in the shadows of their fears? In that moment, she realized how intricate the challenge was, one that went beyond mere planning. It was a matter of breaking barriers, including her own. They were on the edge of something incredible, but would they step through it together? Jada knew, deep down, that the next step would decide everything. Jada's heart was still racing as she wrapped up her brainstorming session with the girls. The thrill of possibility hung in the air, but so did the tension from Daniel's presence lurking in the background. She couldn't shake the feeling that he would try to undermine their efforts. Okay, let us meet again Monday after school to plan this out, she suggested, trying to project confidence despite her worries. The girls nodded, exchanging glances filled with a mixture of uncertainty and excitement. As they broke apart, she caught sight of Marcus across the room, animatedly chatting with a group of gamers. He looked passionate, and Jada felt a burst of pride knowing they were all in this together. She moved toward him, eager to hear about his conversations. Did you get anywhere? Jada asked as she approached, her voice a blend of eagerness and anxiety. Definitely. They want to set up a tournament. We could showcase local talent, stream it live even. Marcus beamed, his enthusiasm contagious. That's amazing. It would draw a lot of people, Jada replied, feeling a new wave of hope swelling within her. They both glanced over to Tia, who was deep in conversation with another group. Jada could see Tia's expressive gestures, her passion boundless. Jada waved her over, and Marcus, with a grin, moved to join the conversation. Hey guys. Listen to this, we're thinking of a mixed arts showcase. Live performances, gaming tournaments, even some art displays. Tia announced, her eyes bright with excitement. Seriously? This is huge. Marcus exclaimed, his fist punching the air. We're really onto something. Jada looked at her friends, their jubilant spirits lifting her even more. The worries and doubts whispering in the back of her mind were being drowned out by the thrill of collaboration and creativity. She couldn't deny how exhilarating it was to see their visions coming together into something tangible, but then, a shadow interrupted her moment of joy. So, you think this is going to be a success? Daniel's sarcastic voice cut through the energy like a knife. He had sauntered over, arms crossed, an unimpressed look plastered on his face. What do you want, Daniel? Jada replied, fighting to keep her voice steady despite the anger simmering just beneath the surface. Just curious, he smirked. You honestly believe you can change things around here? Good luck, I mean, it's just a bunch of kids, right? Jada felt heat rush to her cheeks but pushed through. We're bringing people together, Daniel. Something this community desperately needs. Right, and we'll see how long that lasts, he said, walking away. The laughter and chatter around them resumed, but Jada felt the weight of his words lingering. Forget him, Marcus said, his hand squeezing Jada's shoulder. We're making something real here. You're changing perceptions already, just by stepping up. Trust me, people will come around. Jada took a deep breath, regaining her composure. You're right. If we can inspire just a few, it'll be worth it. As they huddled together, plotting out details, ideas flowed more freely. The vision of their community event began to crystallize, each suggestion sparking more creativity. They started assigning roles, letting every voice contribute to the tapestry they were weaving, but amid the excitement, a sliver of doubt flickered in the back of Jada's mind. Would it be enough? Could they truly unite everyone? What if Daniel was right, and the enthusiasm would fade? It would take more than a plan. They needed heart to keep this alive. Just then, Tia's excitement peaked. What if we also bring in local businesses? They could sponsor the event and connect with the community too. Jada's eyes lit up. That was it. A web of support was forming right before her. Okay, people. Let us figure out the first steps, she rallied. Tia, look into getting businesses involved. Marcus, coordinate the gaming side. I'll focus on connecting with performers. But as she sought to retain her spirit of positivity, the press of doubt weighed heavier. What if everything they created unraveled just as quickly as they strategized? The music thumped louder, choreographing their energy. They were becoming a real unit, each beat sinking through the venue. Hope hung in the air thick as smoke. But just as they were ready to dive into planning mode, Jada's phone pinged with a notification. It was a message from someone she hadn't heard from in months. Daniel had tagged her in an online post. Before she even opened it, dread settled in her stomach. What had he said this time? With every heartbeat echoing in her ears, Jada realized they were prepared for everything except for the storm that might come. Would they weather it, or would the winds of doubt blow them apart? Jada's heart raced as she opened the notification. The screen flickered with Daniel's post, and her stomach dropped. He had shared a meme mocking her language competition performance, twisting her words into a joke. Laughter erupted from his friends, their comments rolling in beneath the post like a cascade of negativity. Jada felt that familiar sting, like a balloon deflating in slow motion. Her fingers trembled, ready to type a response to defend herself, but something stopped her. Hey, what's wrong? Marcus asked, his brow furrowing as he noticed her distress. Jada turned her phone away, her emotions swirling. It's just Daniel, she muttered, forcing a casual tone. But deep inside, she felt like she was caught in a whirlpool of despair, the laughter from the posts echoing in her mind. Don't feed into it, Tia interjected softly, her eyes filled with understanding. He's just trying to get a reaction. We're doing something good here, and that's what matters. Jada nodded, swallowing the lump in her throat. She looked around at her friends, their commitment and passion shining brightly. The day had been filled with hope and dreams, bigger than anything Daniel could knock down. You're right. We can't let one person ruin this, Jada said, her voice steadying. As they dove back into discussions about the event, Jada found herself feeling lighter. She focused on the faces of the friends and neighbors who supported her, and the buzz of anticipation around their plans filled her with renewed strength. They began mapping out little action steps, inviting performers, reaching out to local businesses, and designing flyers that would be distributed throughout the neighborhood. As the sun sank lower, casting a warm glow around them, Jada was reminded of her vision, one where everyone was included, where stories could be shared, and bonds could be formed. Together, they could make it happen. That evening, the trio brainstormed tirelessly, scribbling inspiring ideas on leftover napkins, mixing moments of laughter with fervent discussions, but as they reached a natural pause, Tia leaned back, her brow reflecting worry. What if Daniel isn't the only one who thinks like that? What if people don't show up? Her voice was a whisper, echoing a fear that had crept into all their hearts. Jada took a deep breath, grounding herself. We can't control what others think. But we can control our effort. If we believe in this, others might too. The determination in her voice resonated through the room. Let us not just promote it, let us show them what we can do together. Connect with the businesses, get people excited. Marcus nodded vigorously. And let us showcase how their stories matter. We'll reach out to the local paper too. Make it newsworthy. With that new plan of action, they danced between ideas, building momentum until the night felt electric. By the time they parted ways, each of them felt that flicker of unity igniting within the community. Jada returned home with hope blooming in her heart, despite the lingering whisper of doubt from Daniel's post. The following days were a whirlwind of determination. Jada, Marcus, and Tia hit the streets, vigorously spreading the word about voices of our neighborhood. They gathered endorsement from local businesses, promoted the event energetically on social media, and met with eager volunteers who shared their passions. As the event date approached, Jada felt her excitement swelling every time she walked through the neighborhood. It was transforming. People were talking, sharing ideas, and voicing their support, voices echoing back, drowning out the negativity. Finally, the day arrived. The community center was alive, bursting with color and laughter. Jada stood at the entrance, her heart full as she welcomed families and friends. Music filled the air, children danced, and stories flowed. She watched as neighbors engaged openly, passing compliments, sharing laughter, and connecting through their shared experiences. It was everything she had envisioned, and then, at the heart of it all, Jada spotted Daniel. He leaned against a wall, seeming out of place, arms crossed. Her heart tightened. Would he just be a specter of negativity? But as she made her way through the crowd, she grasped the power she had kindled, not just for her, but for everyone. Taking a deep breath, Jada approached him, calling out over the music, "Daniel, come join us." To her surprise, he hesitated but eventually stepped forward, confusion etching his features. "Why?" he asked, the skepticism still lurking beneath. "Because everyone deserves to be part of this," Jada said earnestly, her voice unwavering. "You can be part of the change too." Slowly, the walls he built began to tremble. She saw a flicker of vulnerability in his eyes. Maybe, just maybe, he could change too. The crowd surged around them, pulling them both into the warmth of shared stories and laughter. That night, Jada saw the power of connection shine brighter than any competition, more luminous than a simple trophy. At that moment, she understood Daniel's skepticism. He had been afraid of being left out, like so many others. And now, together, they celebrated their stories, their artistry ignited by a shared dream. One Jada realized was just the beginning. This was not the end. This was a spark that could light the way for a brighter future. Now, the urge to rally together was alive. Would they continue to uplift each other? Would their voices transform the neighborhood even more? Jada felt the weight of responsibility, but this time, it felt good. Their dreams weren't bound by limitations anymore. They were fueled by the love and strength of community. As the stars twinkled above, illuminating the hopes that echoed through the air, Jada's heart swelled. This was her home, full of passion and unity. What would come next? She couldn't wait to find out. You need to subscribe now to not miss the next exclusive stories that will inspire your journey. This is the moment to show your support. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm and help spread positivity. Comment below your reactions and feelings about this incredible ending. Don't wait not even one more second to share this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this transformation. Every share makes a difference.